This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys, quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. Today, we're going to be discussing negotiating a salary. Your salary is one of the most important elements of a job package. At almost every company, raises are calculated as a percentage of base salary. So if you have a starting salary of $10,000 and you do a great job and you get a 10% raise, you'll end up making $11,000. If you have a starting salary of $15,000, which is $5,000 more, do a great job and get a 10% raise, you'll be making $16,500. That's $5,500 more than the $10,000 starting salary. That's a $500 difference depending upon whether the starting salary was $10K or $15K. With equivalent performance, a slightly higher starting salary turns into much, much more money over your entire work history. Companies hate you. One of the great mysteries to most economists today is why, since the 1970s, overall salaries haven't gone up for the bottom 99%. Frankly, their mystification mystifies me. I think it's pretty obvious. Because hiring managers, human resources managers, and executives have decided not to raise wages. That's the only thing that would keep wages from going up. The reason, of course, is because they hate you. Oh, no, I know. If you talk to them individually, they would claim they don't. But crippling someone's salary for life is one of the most hateful things you could do to another person. So even if they have lots of other rationalizations, for all intents and purposes, their actions are in fact indistinguishable from someone who hates you. Welcome to American capitalism. If you don't like it, become an entrepreneur. And by the way, only about 1 in 6 entrepreneurial ventures actually survives. So the rest crash and burn. Good luck with that. Companies try to screw you in job interviews. In job interviews, one of my favorite questions that they ask is, what was your salary at your previous job? Oh, this is a fascinating question because it gives them all sorts of negotiating leverage. If you say $20,000, then they can come right back and offer you $25,000 and justify the offer by saying, look, it's 25% more than you made at your last job. What they will tastefully keep to themselves is the fact that they easily pay other people $40,000 to do that very same job. If you refuse to answer, then they can go, tisk, 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 and disqualify you as being uncooperative. There doesn't seem to be any clear way forward. One way to proceed is by gently labeling what's going on. Labeling is a technique from Chris Voss, the author of Never Split the Difference, which is my favorite book on negotiating. With labeling, you state what is happening in the current moment, especially surfacing any unspoken agendas. You're asking for my previous salary. It seems like if I tell you that, I'm giving up negotiating leverage. You say this nicely, and by the way, it's true. So next, segue into a question. How will you use that information? If they say, we want to make sure we're giving you a raise, then you can say, great, that sounds more than fair. When you've made an offer, I'll just let you know if it doesn't constitute a sufficient raise and we can proceed at that point. If they say, we want to know so we can offer you something in line with what you made before, that's a non-answer. It means they want to use the information against you. You can respond, great, that makes perfect sense. When you make an offer, I'll let you know if it isn't in line and we can proceed at that point. This way, you're not giving up your negotiating leverage while you are answering what they claim is the reason behind their question. Now, if they keep insisting, move on to the next tactic. Ask how. In a neutral, curious tone of voice, ask, you want to know my salary history, which gives you a negotiating advantage. How can I get you the information you need without it damaging my negotiating position? Ask this sincerely, and you're getting them on your side. You're presenting the problem with their request, and you're asking for their help in solving it. If they don't respond with actual suggestions, but stonewall, saying, it's company policy that we ask for salary history, simply repeat, how can I answer that without damaging my negotiating position? It is possible that they'll have genuine suggestions for how they can get the information they need without you having to lose negotiating leverage. The reality, of course, is that there is no intrinsic reason to get a salary relative to your previous salary. At the executive level, no one makes that assumption. Marissa Mayer was paid $260 million to become CEO of Yahoo, a job which she performed dismally, by the way. You can bet that her $250 million payday was not based on her prior salary at Google. If they keep pressing or you're inclined to give them a number, don't give them a single number. Give them a range, with the low end of the range being the salary you want. Make sure to do your research in advance so you have a plausible reason for this range. A salary that would be in line would be between $30,000 and $45,000 according to the salary surveys I've read. Now, if you're in high tech, you can then look at them with a straight face and say, of course, Marissa Mayer would ask for $200 million to take that job, so you're getting quite a bargain. That was a joke, but if you're feeling genuinely cheeky and you don't mind taking a risk, you can also turn their question back around on them. Remember to do this respectfully. It might make sense to answer that question if we preserve our negotiating balance. Would you object to giving me the salaries of the other people in the company who are in the equivalent job so that I can see the spread of what's available? Now, they won't be willing to do that, of course, but it really underscores that they are asking you to do something that they themselves are not willing to do. No matter which strategy you choose to use, get a trusted friend to role-play all of these tactics so they feel natural and you can deliver them gracefully. You won't internalize these just by listening to this episode. It's practice that will give you the muscle memory to make them work. Salary negotiations are critical to your career, which is why you don't want to give up your negotiating leverage at the drop of a hat. When they ask for your salary information, label what they're doing and turn the question around to ask them to help you provide an answer that doesn't ruin your negotiating position. Ask, how can I do that? Give them salary ranges, and if you're brave or have nothing to lose, turn the question back around on them. I take no responsibility whatsoever, however, for your outcomes, unless they're awesome, in which case, feel free to send me a handsome consulting fee, somewhere between $9,516 and $15,903 would be perfect. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. If you have projects that are stalled or taking too long, the answer is my accountability Get It Done groups. Learn more at getitdonegroups.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. You'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.